In this video, I'm playing Backgammon versus the bot with my friend Chris Bray. Thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below and what you'd like to see in future videos so I can work on that. My book, Backgammon, Backgammon Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is in the description. Again, in this video, it's my great honor and pleasure to have one of the top players in the UK and the world for a very long time, my friend Chris Bray. Thank you for joining us and welcome.
Thank you, Alex. It's a pleasure to be here. This is a new venture for me, so I'm looking forward to it. I've watched some of the others, so I've got some idea of what's about to happen.
Good. I'm happy to have you.
I spend a lot of my life with XG, so it's all good fun.
Good, good. I'm really happy to have you. How are you doing today or tonight for you?
Yeah. So for me, it's 9 o'clock in the evening nearly. I'm doing a lot of teaching at the moment, a lot of writing and I'm playing in a tournament this weekend. So my life since I retired from IBM is pretty much backgammon plus family, and that's it really.
That's good. And which part of the UK are you joining us from?
So I'm in southwest London near Richmond, where I've lived for many, many years. And my local club, the Roehampton Club, of which I've been a board member, but now I'm just a member. My wife and I run the backgammon section there, trying to bring new players into the game. And we have a thing called the London League, where 10 of the top clubs in London take part annually. So that's good fun as well.
That's great. What have you found have been the best ways to recruit new players?
Well, we get them. We have a member intake every January and every July. So I don't go out looking for them. They tend to come to us. So we provide a huge number of sports and games across the club, and we just try to service the need of our members.
That's great. And you've been playing backgammon for a very long time. How long have you been playing?
So I started playing I have kept a record, very sad this, of every money game I've ever played. So I started recording in 1979. So I came from chess, sort of by accident, and then I gave up chess. I still play a little bridge, but I love backgammon in a way I don't quite love chess in the same way.
I know. I was actually just speaking with Bill Roberti the other day, and he said a lot of backgammon players came from chess, and there are also some that came from bridge. And nowadays, a lot of them are playing a lot of poker because there's more poker games nowadays.
Yeah, there's more money in poker because basically ever since they worked out how to film the whole cards, it means the man in the street can enjoy it, watch it, and understand it. I don't think backgammon will ever have the broad and simplistic appeal that poker has, because at the end of the day, it's just that little bit too difficult for a lot of people.
It may be, but I feel like this type of medium, the video, allows people to watch it and see how it's played, and I feel like that's been helping grow the game. I know you're quite the literary. You've read a lot of books, and you've written many books. And you were telling me you can get them. There's a website, right? Where can people get your books?
My website is www.chrisbraybackgammon.com. And some of them you can also get on Amazon as well. So
great.
Plenty of routes to market. Yeah.
Good, good. What your first book was? I think most of them have the word wind in it, right?
Yeah, so most of them have wind. The first book I ever wrote was called An Independent View, because I used to be the columnist for the Independent newspaper, and that was an anthology of articles, and that was the only book published by a traditional publisher. Nowadays, everything is print on demand. And when you're dealing with a niche market, you need a print-on-demand facility, because you're not going to print 2,000 copies and have 1,000 left at the end of the day.
Right.
It's been a real boon for backgammon authors that you've got this route to market.
Yeah. So where did you get the word wind from? I mean, what is that? Does that represent something?
Okay, so very briefly, the first book is called What Color is the Wind? And the reason for that is the title of one of the articles I wrote, which was about a little child who'd been blind since birth, And there was a 1 hour TV program about how they taught him to understand the world that he lived in. And you think you're doing really well, and you think he understands everything. And then right at the end, the kid says, "What color is the wind?" Right. So you can teach people for hours and hours, and you think you're doing really well, but actually you quite often miss the point. So that was the point of the title. And then I just took wind and sort of threw it into all the other titles.
And there's one of the recent ones is Backgammon for Dummies.
And so I've written 2 primers, Backgammon for Dummies, which is written in dummies prescriptive style, and Backgammon to Win, which is basically the same content with my prose. So depending on which way you want to read it, you don't get the cartoons in my book, but I think the English is better.
I feel like I have a lot of friends I can gift Backgammon for Dummies to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a great starter book, and everybody has to start somewhere. And I learned a long time ago that if you read, it's a short circuit to knowledge. My first ever money game, I lost to a guy we were playing at work, and I wasn't going to have that. I went out and bought the Backgammon book and Wex Backgammon for profit the next day. I got my money back. I made a lot more money, and I've been reading ever since.
That's great. And now you give lessons, is that correct?
I did lessons, yeah, mainly online nowadays. Started during a lot more during COVID. So if you're local to me, fine. But if not, it's just very sensible to do this stuff online because you can use XG, PowerPoint. And the teaching aids are fantastic now.
Right. So if someone wants to get lessons from you, is the best way through your website, or do you have an email or other contact?
You can approach me through my website. You might have to wait for a bit. I'm quite full at the moment.
Okay, I'll put a link in the description so people can find you. Okay, so wonderful. That was great. It's a pleasure learning a little bit more about you. I'll go ahead and share this screen. Okay, are you able to see the board now?
I can see the board.
Okay, very good. So this is going to be a 3-point match. We're playing on a beautiful Jeffrey Parker board designed by Rain. He makes outstanding boards. There's the link in the description to where you can get them. You'll be playing the black checkers at the bottom, XG, the white checkers at the top. It's a 3-point match, and you're welcome to consult with me. The final decision is yours as you are the guest. And we're basically going to go through and discuss your thought process. We'll have players of all different levels. Sometimes I'll ask you some simple questions, sometimes some more complicated questions. And the most important goal is to have fun, and the second goal is to learn. And then let me know if you want to roll or double. So we start with the 5-4.
Okay, so standard opening play 24-20, 13-8.
Okay.
Okay, so unless you are losing by a lot, then there are circumstances where you play 39-13-8, but computers and lots of other people have proven that this is the best way to play an opening 5-4. Okay.
Right. Okay. So then the 5-2, and now double 3.
Whoa! So we're going to make the 5 very. I have a habit of playing too quickly, but we are going to make 2 points, right?
Yeah. And now one of the things I think about, especially at this score, is the cube soon.
The cube will be coming unless white rolls well. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Okay. Double 1. That's pretty good.
That's a good reply.
Yeah. So gonna roll.
So that was enough to hold the cube off. Yeah, 5-2. So the 2 comes in, obviously. Now the question then is, do you come to the lower point and duplicate 6s? We're going to be fractionally ahead in the race, but I've got a stack on the 5 on the midpoint, so I'm actually going to play 13-8 here to develop that stack. So I'm not frightened of white's board yet.
Yes, I believe one of the things in terms of the early game, you start with 3 checkers on the 8-point, and that third checker, the spare, is actually quite valuable. When you play an opening 6-1, you lose that spare, and it forms the what Bill Roberti calls in his new books the awkward 6-1 formation. Oftentimes, just replenishing that spare does a lot for the distribution.
I would agree with that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah. So we're still rolling. So we're hoping to escape 1 back checker or make the 4-point or the bar point. Let's see what roll we get.
What do you think what do you think could be modified in this position to make it a double?
From my perspective, I would want to have it either the 22 point or the 21 point in my opponent's board, so I had that level of security. If I had the bar point or the 4 point, I would be cubing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of work to do. Yeah.
Right. That's good to know. People can learn.
Yeah. From XG's perspective, making the 23 point is often sort of frowned upon, but it's vastly better than the 24 point for all sorts of reasons. For one thing, it loses far fewer gammons. Yeah. So White has a very solid position with no ostensible weaknesses. Yeah.
Okay, so the 23 point loses fewer gammons. It also blocks the 8 point too.
Yeah. The downside is your 6 is a block, but you can't have everything in one.
Right. Okay, so roll 6-2.
Oh, 6-2. So coming down into the 5 point to me is not the right idea. At some point we have to. I don't like taking the last spare off the midpoint quite so early without it doing something absolutely concrete. So I here would run 23 to 15 to escape one of the back checkers. 19 pips up. So went ahead in the race seems pretty logical. So I would choose between that and 13 to 5, and this is obviously better than running off the 24 point. So yeah, 23 to 15.
Okay, so we were talking a little bit earlier about the new Francois Tardieu book, and one of the things I remember from his book is that he said that the midpoint is a good resting place for the back checkers, and that's what you need. So you really don't want to strip it until you get at least one back checker out, or preferably two, because once you break this point, now it's a lot harder to bring things home.
So it's the fundamental communication channel on a backgammon board. So unless you have to, you should be keeping it in the middle game.
Right, and you can see we're ahead in the race by 11 before, so 19 after. So you want to kind of extricate the back checkers. So what for the novice players? What do you prefer about 23 to 15 as compared to 24 to 16?
Here. Firstly, the check on the 23 point is blocked by 6s. Secondly, there are virtually no double hits if you come to the 15 point. Here, there are a few double hits should White elect to do that. So the check on the 24 point is out of harm's way. The check on the 15 point is also a builder for the 9 point. The check on the 16 point isn't really a builder for anything useful. So for all of those reasons, I think this is right.
That's outstanding. And then leaving the checker on the 24 point gives you control of all 4 quadrants of the board. He can't play behind you when you're
correct.
Yeah, good. 3-2. So hit.
Well, you see, the thing about XG is it sees these things instantaneously. So obviously no double here, and we're just going to have to see how we enter.
Right. 6-1. Okay, so 1.
1, and now H2 is no good, and you're not going to play 13 to 7. So per force, you're going to play 24-18, which is a sort of deflection play, because now, unless your opponent rolls a double, is not going to be hitting and making a point. Yes, there are some double hits, but this will be by far the strongest of the available 6s.
Right. I call this the distraction play because, before this, White's going to want to make the innerboard point, and White can make it with like 6-4, 6-2, 6-1, 4-2, 4-1, 2-1, and when you do this, White will have to use at least half of the roll with one of those good numbers, so he'll be unable to do that.
Yeah. So deflection is a good name, and distraction. Yeah. So White has to deal with that checker.
Especially with the stripped midpoint, if the White will hit with the 6, White will break the midpoint. Secondly, if it's not hit, the 18 point is slotted to create a possible anchor.
Yeah, and then White might be very kind and roll 5-2 and miss completely.
Yeah. Okay. 4-1. Okay.
Well, that's easy. Okay, so now White has a prime. We have a little. Our prime is not as good, but let's see where we come in again.
Okay. 5-1. So the one is forced, and
And now we're going to play 13-8 because 8-3 puts a checker where you really don't want it. Whereas on the 8 point, it's still a builder for both the bar and the 4 point.
yes. 5-2. Okay.
Okay, so White's position has improved, ours has not. 5-3, it looks like we're leaving again. So basically, White is threatening to make a prime, and we don't want him to do that. We certainly can't really sit back on the 24 point and just let White bring checkers down and then make the 4 point. So again, a distraction play. If he hits with a 1, he can't make a point, and if he hits with a 4, he's got to give up. Double 4 is great for him, but if he hits with a 4, he has to give up the midpoint to do that. So there's a price to pay for White to hit the checker. Okay?
Yeah.
Race perspective, how are we doing? We're a few pips ahead, so it fits in with the overall game plan.
If you were White, you wouldn't double yet, would you?
No, I wouldn't double. Yeah, I've got 4, 7, 9. I've got 11 checkers in the attack zone, so it's not to be discounted. But black structure, or our structure on our side of the board, is very strong. So
Yeah.
you double earlier in a 3 point match than you would normally, and you drop earlier from the defending side. But here, I think I'm definitely taking.
Right. That's a good point. In terms of a 3 point match, a lot of people don't understand that. What's the reason that you should double earlier in a 3 point match and take more cautiously?
Okay, so if you double earlier and you win, you get to 2 away, 1 away, 3 away, and you're at the Crawford game. And getting to the Crawford game isn't quite as good as winning a backgammon match, but it's very powerful. The cube is now effectively out of play for the whole of the rest of the match because the cube decisions are trivial. And you drop earlier precisely for the same reasons. And you don't want to be 0-2 behind. And also, of course, if you lose a gammon with the cube on 2, then the match is over. So, yeah, you double it's slightly earlier, and you drop slightly earlier. So we're talking about 2 or 3 percentage points away from the norm here.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know it. I mean, the 2 biggest errors in match play backgammon are people not playing on for a gammon when they're too good to double, and secondly, making a money-based decision in a match. So taking the score. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you made that specific point in one of the videos I watched. I know you've been recently making some videos, and those are really outstanding lessons.
Yeah, I've done a few recently, and they're on my YouTube channel. So search for Chris Bray Backgammon on YouTube, you'll find them.
I will put a link in the description to your YouTube channel to make it easy. Okay. 5-1. Okay.
Okay, so now the midpoint's gone, but White has a broken prime. So it's still a well-balanced position. With a bit of luck, we will now control the outer board, but equally well, White is threatening to make a full prime. So let's see. What we don't want to come in with is 1-6, okay?
Right. Let's say that happens, or we dance and you're White. Would you double? Would you play on? What would you do?
I would double. If Black comes in with a 1-6, I think White is strong enough to double. Yeah.
Okay.
1-5.
And
okay,
then
now I'm not playing 13-8 because I'm not giving up the midpoint, and I'm going to play 8-3 because the checker is still in play. 6-1 is not where the checker wants to be, but so 8.
Yeah.
That's a horrible structure. I think backgammon's partly played on pattern recognition, and you can tell what is a good position and what is not a good position.
Right. Okay.
So here White, he's going to double. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So how are we going to evaluate this? So there are about 9 numbers that make the 4 point, but equally well, there are some very anti-joker numbers for White as well. I think this is close because of so for money I'm taking this, I'm thinking about it a little bit more at this score. So use the Kent Goulding method. give white a good roll, but not a great roll. So maybe 6-2, playing 13-5. Give black a reasonable, a bad roll, but not his worst. Maybe 5-1, where you drop 2 checkers down from the midpoint. Would you be dropping that position? I don't think so. So I think this is a take. I could be wrong there, because white's position is quite powerful. But if you look at things like, let's have a look, sort of double 6 is pretty unpleasant for white.
Yeah.
His 5s are duplicated, so the 5s come out, but the 5s help to build the 4-point. So close, but a take.
Yeah, that's a good evaluation. I think some of the hardest types of positions to evaluate are prime versus prime, and that's effectively what this is. It's not a full prime on either side. Those are hard. I always look at, what are really good rolls, like 5-2 would be, really good, 4-2, 5-4. You look at those numbers. However, the race is about even, and these checkers are going to require some work to get home because white's going to want to safety this. So we'll see what the analysis is, but we'll take.
I'd be a lot happier if my spare checker on the 3-point was on the 5-point, but you can't have everything, right? So.
Right. Okay, so that was
a new roll for
5-1, playing 13-7.
Okay, all right. So now any three in a big number is great. Making the bar is great. Making the 4-point is great. But we're at the mercy of the dice. So let's see what we get.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh, right. So this is pretty easy to play, I think. We come up with 2. So that's cast iron. And per force, we come down with 2.
Okay.
So that's what we call a joker in Backgammon.
Yep, that's good to have jokers. I have a lot of novice players that are friends. They would play like this to just counter prime like this. What do you not like about this?
So now you're out of time, basically. In your next set of big numbers, you are going to crash that structure. So that prime will have a very short half-life.
Yeah.
By coming up, your big numbers play well because they run away, and your small numbers also play reasonably well as well.
Right.
That's a fantastic roll.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the additional benefit here is white wants to make the 4-point next, and after this, that's impossible.
Yeah.
So great. And then some people would do like this and this to kind of diversify things, but that's the wrong idea, right?
Yeah, if you have an open 4-point, holding the 10-point is great because now the 6s act on the 4-point.
Yeah.
So things like double 6 then play well.
Okay.
Ooh, Joker.
Yeah.
So now we've basically got this is still a prime versus prime sort of structure. All prime against primes a take. There's virtually no market losers. It's double 6, double 5, and 6-5. But even then, when your opponent holds a high anchor, he's probably going to have a take until very late in the game a lot of the time, and particularly if gammons don't matter. If I ever redouble this position, then the cube is dead and gammons are dead. So I need to be a lot stronger than I am at the moment. I'm not going to be running off the 21-point on my next roll unless I can move both checkers. And then we will see what white does.
Okay. Another one.
Double 3. And this one is more awkward. So, so do we continue to block 6s, or do we make a solid 4 prime? So this so this way, basically, if we play 10-7 twice and 8-2, if white rolls with 1, then we still have a set of numbers that can make the 4-point. So that's play A. Now, if we put it back, play B is 8-5 3 times, and then to 2. But now we're going to be forced with 6s next time, either off the 21-point or off the 10-point. So, for the sake of balance, I prefer play A.
I
So
have
I
a
like
friend
still
who,
having, yeah, sorry, Alex.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
So I like still having that 4-point prime. There's a 4-point prime on both sides of the board now. The positions are very equal. We have 4 checkers beyond our opponent's anchor, and white only has 2. So a slight edge to white there because the timing will be better. But we have a tiny lead in the race, but that's probably not going to be hugely significant yet.
That's a very good point. I have a friend, when you roll the same number twice, he says you must not have played it right the first time.
Yeah, yeah. Or your dice cup's broken. Right,
Okay.
so now we prefer this position. So white's position has deteriorated a little bit. It's kept this 4-point block, but it's now got strip points all over the place and a blot on the ace point. So if we roll a big number, we'll be thinking about going. So the first thing is to roll and then work out what you're doing.
Okay. 5-2.
Right, so now we have the choice of making the ace point, basically. So this is quite difficult, I think. Rule of thumb is you hold the anchor. Let's put the checkers back and look at the alternative play, which is probably 21 to 14. So now we're 7 pips up. White will attack with 1s, 3s, and 4s, but he also needs a 4 to make the ace point. And with this play, we take control of the outer boards. So if white wants to pop out from our 4-point, it makes it more difficult. Gives white a couple of jokers. So this is probably the crunch roll in this position. So if you put the checkers back just a minute and let me have another look at 6 to 1 and 4 to 1. The other problem with this position is you have to ask what next. So next roll, either I'm going to be forced off the 21 point, or I'm going to be cracking my little prime on this side of the board. But it is so close, so close. No doubt in the analysis later, XG will tell us it is not close.
You can put this in your position of the day or the Braves.
Yeah, I think we might have a contender here. I mean, obviously making the ace point, we put 2 checkers where they can usefully do something. For years, I've broken anchors too early. Okay, so I'm not going to break the anchor. There you go.
Yeah. So another thought is, if you're going to run,
Yeah,
there will likely be a possible upcoming hitting exchange.
yeah,
When there is an upcoming hitting exchange, the one with the stronger board is a favorite. Here the boards are equal. So if you do this, now we have a 4-point board, and there will likely be a hitting exchange because somebody's going to have, the white's going to have to either come off here or break something here, in which case there may be a future hitting exchange. And for now, we would have the stronger board.
yeah. I think this is actually a very difficult decision.
Yes.
Yeah. So probably the best position in the match so far.
Okay. Is this your choice? Making
this is my choice. Let's see.
Yeah. 6-3. Okay, so now he gave that up, and we have this.
Now we've obviously got a shot. If we hit the shot, fine. If we don't hit the shot, we'll have to think. No redouble, obviously, because it's still very close. Okay, so I'm going to strengthen the board because if we run, all of white's numbers are good. Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
A slight edge. Okay, if you can't run with 2 and clean up the blood on the 18. Yeah.
Right.
He could run, and so say with 4-5, he'd probably run and make the 2-point. Yeah?
Right. Okay.
See? Yeah.
5-1. All right.
5-1. So now I'm going to be attacking with 3s. I've got double 6. I've got double 3. Yeah. Okay. So.
Do we have any more double 3s in the dice?
Yeah, we need threes, double three. We had it before, right? So just roll another one.
Oh,
Oh, now, right. Okay, so
I
four
guess we.
comes in, and we can have a think about the banana split play,
Ah,
right? But I don't think this is the moment to do it. It's just a good way to lose a gammon. So let's not do that and just bring the checker. Yeah. Okay. Now, the race is still close, right? So doubles are good for black.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're
Okay.
looking for
Now
6-5,
we
double
need six
six,
five and 6-6. Yeah.
or even double five is good. Double
Yeah.
three is
Double five.
good.
Double
Yeah.
three. Yeah. We're not fussy.
5-3.
Okay. So now I don't want to break my board. I don't want to come out with a five. I want white to come to me. So I'm going to be forced. I don't want to play 6-3, 6-1, because then when I'm forced off next time, white has a really strong attack. So we're going to have to come off the bar point, I think.
Yeah.
We could look at 21-16, 21-18 as well. So what does that leave? That leaves sixes and ones, which is 24 shots plus nines, which is 5-4. Uh,
And sevens.
yeah, and sevens. Rather a lot of numbers, and we lose gammons as well. So no.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right
Five.
now. Okay, so 6-1. And are we going to play 5-4, 6-5, 2-1? We don't want to be forced off with the five, so I think we play 5-4.
Okay.
Play, yeah, no, that's fine. Okay,
All right.
okay. So
4-2.
now, okay, so we're going to play 5-1. Sorry, 6-2, 5-3. See what happens.
Keep an extra spare here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so not coming off the 21. Oh, referee.
Maybe we will
Okay,
come up to 21 soon.
so now we're in down save mode. On we
Okay.
go.
4-1,
Right. Off we
4.
go.
Okay.
Pause. We stay for a roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
We stay. So the rule of thumb is once white's down to 8 checkers, we should run. But here it's got 5, 9, 11. We can stay one more. So 10-4, 2-1. Just on the off chance. Okay, now we're going. Yeah. Single game loss.
We're going to have to win this in the race, Chris.
Well, it's going to be a very, very, very well run race. Okay.
All right. We'll go to the
Right.
next game. All
Well,
right.
I think I should have run off the 21 point earlier, but there we go. Now we'll see. So, winning a gammon at this score does no good to black. This is Crawford, so we make the same opening roll as the first game because it's the better play with 5-4, 13-8, and 24-20.
So when you're at the Crawford game at an odd away score, gammons are not valuable. However, if you were at an even away score, would you play differently?
An even away score, I come down with 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then we would be in gammon go, but here we're just trying to win the game.
Right.
Winning a gammon just takes away the free drop.
This is how the last game started.
Same opening as the last game. Must be an easy
Yeah.
game.
This
Oh,
is-
same opening again. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're on repeaters. Okay.
All
now
right.
what?
No, we can't double, so I'll just
We
roll.
just have a 4-2. Right. So now what are we doing? We're not going to hit anything. We're not playing 13-7, 6-1. We're just going to run away the back checker, keep a 24-pip lead. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Right. Oh,
6-1.
well, let's run again.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the alternative would be to just bring an extra builder,
Yeah.
but that leaves us back here.
It just allows white a free attack for no particular reason.
Okay.
And now we're following Mishy's guidelines, right? Of basically trying to bring, but you can't play this safely, so now you have to hit basically and duplicate fours.
So speaking of Michi, there is the double tiger option, but I think this
Yeah,
four is forced, and then you can play down with.
there's not enough in the zone. We've got six checkers on the midpoint. They need some development. Right?
That's a very good point. A lot of people don't think about number of checkers in the zone when you're doing the double tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what is it? What are you trying to? What are you looking for? Like nine checkers, 10
Well,
checkers?
nine checkers minimum, preferably 10. There are times when you have to do a double tiger as a sort of double deflection play, but this is not one of them, I believe.
Right, right. Okay,
See,
okay.
okay, staying out. Now then, can we make the point?
We're looking for a 6-3 as well. There we
Yeah, there you
go.
go. Hey, you can see, you can tell the future. You're a
You
very
should just,
smart.
I should just, all right. A
So
fortune teller.
now we're trying to make the bar or the 2 point
Yeah.
checkers into play. This
Three,
one, we
one.
just come down 13-9,
Yeah.
13-9.
This would be an overplay, right?
Yeah, yeah, and also you don't want to play, you don't want to leave it on the 10 point because then double three. Oh no, double three isn't a joker, but still 13-9. I think.
Yeah. If you do leave it here, well, then you would have to move. Like from here, double fours works here, but then you're going to have to move an ace, so it won't work.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. He's a very quick player, isn't he? Okay, so now I think you can just follow Nishi's rules and play 9-3 and 13-8. You still
Yeah.
next time. Now this is the time you do want to clear the midpoint next time safely if
Yeah.
you can. Okay. Okay. Now we come down with 2.
Mhm.
Okay. 6-3. Looks like, yeah, that's well played, Alex. That's exactly what I
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, this is good. Now we want to make the 2 point. Yeah. It's an easy game when you roll well, by the way.
Very, very easy to play.
Yeah.
I say,
Right, right. Not 6-5. Okay. You have your
yeah. Backgammon, I say, is easy to learn but hard to master. The winner's the one who bears off faster.
yeah.
4-2.
Right. So gammons are not important. So we clear the 6 point. Okay. If gammons were important, we'd think about no, we wouldn't. It leaves a horrible structure. So we're coming
Yeah.
down. Terrible. Okay. So now we're even.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you're bearing off against an anchor, you want to make sure you have your spares in the right places so that you can play all the numbers. One of the things I've learned from studying back games, in particular in the bear off stage or the bear in stage, anytime you're bearing off against an anchor, whether it's one or more anchors, you want to look at how your numbers play. You always want to, against the ace point game, but in general, clear from the rear. And here, the highest point remaining is the 5 point, and the opponent owns the ace point. So fours are blocked from the 5 point. So those will be played awkwardly. You want to ensure when you're trying to clear the 5 point, you have plenty of fours to play. And here there are two spares to do that. Okay.
Right. That's good. Now we could take 2 off, or we could take 1 off. So the 3 comes off. Now, are there any bad numbers? This leaves 6-5 as a bad number next time, so we might as well take 2 off, I think, because your 2s play all right from 5 to 3. These sort of plays that computers are very good at. Yeah.
The other benefit of playing like this is that should white run off and we roll like a 4-3 or something like that, we'd have spares everywhere to point on head.
I think, yeah, in retrospect, maybe just 1 off the 5 point is correct because you want to be clearing the 5 point as soon as you can anyway. So let's take 1 off the 5 point after mature reflection. Okay.
Right. And if you really want to take checkers off the 5 point, you can even do this.
Yeah,
But
no,
6, 4, 5.
because
Yeah.
white is going to have to go, and you still want the builders to make the ace point if white is forced off with, say, 6-5.
Right. Okay. Easy.
Okay, well, easy when you yeah. Same number for white.
Yeah, same number. You know, when I'm white and I run off, you know, I say I wish I could get a 6-4 to run all the way to here.
Yeah.
Or 5-4. Yeah, you get that humor. Okay.
Right, I do.
Okay.
Okay,
So this one
so
is forced, and this one
and
is
the other,
forced.
yeah, and so the other, yeah, we're not taking two off. So
Clear,
right,
right.
yeah.
There's the 6-4 finally.
And we don't want a two, right? That's a nice roll. We like that. Now we don't want a double. That's good. Now the triple becomes relevant. Oh,
Oh, yes. If it rolls
oh,
a double one,
yeah.
no.
Okay, 6-3.
Okay. Okay, so
Okay, no, a good
DMP.
gammon and no, what do you call it? No, no
Cube.
free drop. So we're straight
No
off.
free draw. So now at DMP, double match point, 1 point wins the match for either side. So no gammons, no backgammons, no doubling cube. What I tell people is there are four primary strategies to win in backgammon without a doubling cube. The first is a simple racing strategy. There's also a priming strategy, a blitzing or attacking, and the fourth is a defensive strategy. And when you're playing DMP, the one that kind of goes to the top is the racing strategy because the game must be played to its conclusion, and ultimately backgammon is a race if that's the case. So
Yeah.
something and
So
attacking
now,
is
yeah,
less valuable, right?
I was going to say you play pure, you keep your checkers in play, you can play back games, yeah. So there's no risk, no gammons. So just keep all 15 soldiers on the field of battle and make them useful. Okay. So now standard replies to hit and split 6-4, 2-1. And again, beginners don't do this stuff, right? They
Right,
don't
right.
with the 2-1. So now white has the advantage. Uh, now we're going to come out to the bar as a deflection play again. Certainly not giving white control of the outer boards. So white has a blitz potential. Hopefully we can anchor. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a bit of a mess. Now, this is much more difficult. So we are way behind. Yeah. We want desperately to obtain an anchor. We don't want white to have the freedom of the outer board. We can duplicate threes and fours. I think we have to play 13-7 here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, now we need to hit. That's the
Oh
fact.
no.
Now we need an
We
anchor. Make it interesting. Give me an anchor.
we could how would you play a double five here?
I come in. I wouldn't be
That's
hitting.
the
I don't think I'd be hitting. Yeah, actually, maybe you
you
would
could
hit.
hit here or here.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah.
would hit two. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see if we can at least get an anchor to make this interesting.
Okay, we don't have to worry about the double five yet.
Okay, now we really need an anchor. Okay, but now we're gonna get blitzed. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
we are dead.
Well,
Yeah, it was nice while it lasted. You'll notice white is not trying to make the 5 point, right?
right. 6-4. Okay.
Right.
New
Okay.
strategy.
Okay.
Oh
And
no.
now we can resign. Yeah.
We're gonna need some more double sixes. I'll just play it and
Plus divine intervention, I think.
I'll just finish this and then I'll pause for a moment to save it.
Yeah. Sure. Yep.
Okay, now we'll analyze it. Fantastic. Outstanding play. Superhuman. I feel like there were a lot of jokers that were easy to play, which is
Yeah,
good.
I mean, it wasn't a difficult match. I think there were one or two really key decisions, but most of it. And
Right.
again, you and I sit here talk. We've played backgammon for years. To us, probably it's obvious. To a lot of people, some of these moves are not going to be obvious. Even the opening plays and responses, you have to learn them. Yeah, they don't come. You can't play on intuition at backgammon. You have to do some solid groundwork and learn the opening sequences. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, so that was the 5-4, which was clear, and then the 5-2, and the double three was outstanding, easy to play. And then this time it was a double one, which was better than the 3-1 that came up in the next game.
Yeah.
And then the 5-2
Yeah.
was okay. So these plays were close. It looks like I'll do the plus analysis.
Yeah.
But yeah, the distribution was important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then this is the one we were talking about.
Yeah. So for all the reasons that we talked about during the actual game, 23-15 is correct. I mean, it's a bum roll. You just have to accept it and move on. You have to make the best of bad rolls in backgammon.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very good lesson. That the top players are. It's easy to play double sixes in the bear off, but the top
Yeah,
players are the ones that play the bad rolls well.
yeah. So learn how to lose
And
is a very important thing.
actually, one thing I feel is very important is learning to be a gracious loser because I know
Yeah,
many people that are not.
yeah. No,
Um,
I've met a lot of those.
yeah, you will, you will.
Yeah,
Okay, so this one was clear, the distraction or deflection. Um, and then the 5-1 was not a good roll.
yeah.
And the
5-3,
5-3, this is
another distraction. Yeah,
right, right. Okay, then the 5-1, the
yeah,
one was forced and the one. Okay. And now the doubling decision. This was a very quite a
yeah.
strong double.
You can see how strong it is, and if you put plus plus on it, didn't plus. Okay, so it's an easy take, but it's a strong double, and it's an uncomfortable take. Yeah. So
Yeah.
technically it's an easy take. Yeah. But say
Um,
you're a very weak player against a very strong player against a very weak player, you might give that one up because
we can look
you
at how it is for money.
yeah,
Look how
yeah,
much weaker it is for money.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what is the lesson here at this score? A double gammon wins the match and the gammons are lopsided here.
Yeah, absolutely, because 4 points wins you the match, and so a double at 0-0 in a 3 point match or 3-away is much more powerful than the equivalent double in a money game because of the gammon threat and the fact
Now,
that your opponent will never ever get to use the cube properly. Yeah?
I wonder if 4-away, 4-away, what would
PM
you
four
much?
away, 4-away. This is probably a pass at 4-away, 4-away. Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
close, very
yeah.
close.
If you roll it out, it'll be a pass.
Yeah, and if you make it like 4-away, 3-away,
Yeah.
4-away, 3-away here, now it's a pass. It must be a
Yeah.
pass. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very good. I tell people it's very useful to do these kinds of things, and it's very instructive. Change the score, change the position to see what changes, and you learn a lot from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Then the double three, of course, that was
Well,
clear, like we discussed. It's vital to
yeah,
make this
and
point.
I was thinking we might get a recube in, but the double two by XG killed that.
Right, right, right. That was a sad face for us. Okay, then this one, the alternative play was close, but
Yeah,
you just don't want to break this one.
yeah, yeah. So keeping the block on six is it just to me the structure didn't look right, but I agree it's very close. Yeah.
Yeah, this gap is going to be challenging for us.
Right. Now we need to look at the 5-2, which is going to be interesting as well.
Yeah.
Okay, 21-14 double blunder. Well done.
Okay.
Fought our way through it. Or I thought, wow. So my rule of thumb of not giving up anchors, I've given up far fewer anchors in the last 2 years than I did in the preceding 2 years, and it's paid dividends, basically. Yeah.
So one thing we can do is put it on the other board, modify the position. Say we do like this.
Yeah.
Now it may be right. Let's see.
No,
Maybe
I think
closer though.
yeah, it's closer,
Where is
but
it? Where is it?
yeah.
Let me
21,
even,
yeah.
oh, 21-14 there. Oh, it's close.
It's close now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that actually makes it close. So that indicates to me that the blot on the board and having a 3-point board versus a 4-point board makes a difference,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is some of the things we were discussing.
Yeah. So
Okay. And the 6-1 was right. We just had to
yeah.
clear that.
The 7, what's wrong with this?
4-1.
Oh,
Oh, you were
oh, oh no.
right.
Ah, so banana split play was right. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, lesson learned. Okay, so no one, 30 years ago, no one would make this play, and if you made this play, you would never be invited back to the club again.
Okay, so I feel like that blot on the board was big because if you cover the blot, now it's a blunder.
Yeah, yeah.
This
Again, you have to look at all four quadrants of the board all of the time to make the right decisions. Sometimes people get focused in on their home board and their outer board, and they forget about the other half of the board.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we modify it like this.
Now it's going to be right. Two
It's
blocks
close.
in the other board? Yeah, okay.
What if there were no blot on the board?
No blocks. Yeah, now
Yeah.
you're going to do 72 because
It's not blot.
there's no
Not blot.
return. Yeah.
I feel like this exercise is sort of an experiment. I have a scientific background, so I do experiments, modify something to see what happens, and when you do that, it's basically telling you the blot is key. Okay, then the 5-3. Any of the top plays were close. Yeah, they were virtually tied.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, okay, so 6-5, fine, yeah.
Mm.
What was the luck factor at the end of the game, by the way? We should quick look at the summary. Yeah, so XG has a bit of luck.
This is something that people look at all the time because it's on this, but to be honest, I never even pay attention to it because I don't care. I don't care because you're going to be lucky and you're going to be unlucky. At the end of the day, it evens out.
Because, yeah, absolutely. If you look at my profile on my home computer, my luck over all the games that I've had for God knows how many years is precisely 0.
Right, right. And I feel like I look at the luck in a slightly different way. I feel like we were lucky because we had many, we didn't have very many difficult choices. Most of the choices were rather straightforward.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so then the 5-1 and then the 4-2, it didn't matter. The 4-1, we just had to go.
There
wasn't much left here.
So we're right to stay with the 6-1.
Right.
And we had to go anyway. So
yeah,
that's fine.
And that was about it for this one.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the next game. So same thing, same double 30. This time a 6-5, which was clear to just run all the way with the back checker.
And then 6-1.
6-1, yeah.
Following Mishi's rules, basically.
So what is the Michi's rule that you're referring to?
Well, so Back Checker Strategy by Nishihito Kageyama is probably the most influential book I've read in the last 2 or 3 years because I changed my strategy having escaped my rear checkers to tie in with his strategy in that book. And basically, once you've escaped both checkers, you should be playing very safely, unless you can't for any reason. But in the old days, I might have kept that checker there, hoping to hit something else. But play it simply, run, and then just hope to bring it all home. Yeah, which is what we did. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that from his book, and I feel like Bill Roberti's recent series on the openings kind of reinforced that because he said that once one player has escaped one back checker, you really want to avoid leaving blots to have a second checker sent back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, 5-4.
13-4 where we hit was pretty clear.
Right.
And after that, not a lot happened.
Now, let me look at this because we were talking about this. Say we had this position.
Yeah.
Now how do we play the 5-4?
I'm still hitting.
Once or twice?
Just once. Because you're duplicating 4s. You want the 4 point. I don't, You're overstretching by hitting 2. Yeah.
What about now?
Your opponent is still a single. This will be closer, but it's
It'll be closer.
Just still a single.
Oh, look at that! It's a.
Look at that. Okay. Yeah.
So that was a very instructive lesson because we said 10 in the zone, 9 in the zone. What is this? This 11, 12 in the zone now, right? Oh no, there's a checker
11,
missing somewhere.
11, yeah.
Wait, I'm missing a checker
Oh, you're
somewhere.
missing a checker. Okay.
There, there. So now,
Yeah.
now it might change. Still essentially
Still the
tied.
same, but it's really close. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. Yeah. More checkers, you can do that. All right, and the 6-3 was clear to cover,
Yeah.
and that one was basically correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the 6-5, you just be careful.
Yeah.
And the
So
5-3.
again, following Mitch's basic strategy, because you're probably not going to leave a shot, so why leave anything? You don't even leave indirects in his world when you
Right.
don't have. Yeah.
He calls it a zero position in
Yeah.
endgame technique. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is the time. This is the time to come down. You do leave a 6-3, but then he would leave a blot there.
Yeah.
And then the 6-3 was nice. It brought the spares to.
Yeah.
That was a great position we got to. And then we were able to make the 2 points.
Yeah.
And the 5-3 was clear. The 6-4 was clearing that point. Okay, so this is what we're talking about.
Yeah. So my first idea was right, my second idea was wrong. So you get 2% more gammons and you get more wins.
More wins.
Because when you get hit, you've got more checkers off, is probably the answer to that one. Yeah.
Yes.
And there are very few bad numbers. And by playing 5 off, you create an immediate 6-5 bad number. So for all of those reasons, yeah.
Yeah,
so
and also
computers are much better working out the micro logistics of this sort of position than human beings. So that's a nice lesson, though. It's simple play. You don't think it's important, but it's still a good lesson.
This may have been the biggest error of the match.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if a white rolls a double 6, it's better you'd rather have 2 off than 1
Yeah,
off.
but if white rolls 1-6, you prefer to have 4 builders on him rather than 2. So
Right. This one was forced. Then the double 2 was pretty clear there.
Yeah.
And there was nothing else really here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
final game's not very interesting because it died very early.
Yeah, so the 2-1 we had to hit and split.
Yeah.
Um,
The 6-1 I think is bar 18. Yeah. Even then you could so one of the things you could have done there was keep the anchor and play 13-7, duplicating 4s and 3s much earlier. Right. So interesting to roll that out. I suspect it won't change much, but it keeps you in the game, I guess, by playing bar 13-7, and there is real duplication. Yeah.
After we conclude, I'll analyze the match further with higher analysis level and see what happens. Okay, and the 6-4 was either 13-7 or.
Now we're desperately trying to make an anchor, but double 5 was a joker, and after the 6-2,
right.
we were basically toast because every other move from now to the end of the game is forced.
Right. What else was there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that was it. Well played. Sub 1.
Yeah, someone that'll do.
Congratulations. Outstanding. Let me go ahead and stop that. Very good. Well, thank you very much. I really enjoyed it, and I think there were some good lessons. What are your thoughts?
Well, one of the things is if you play any game of backgammon, it's a lesson, right? So, I played for 40 years or whatever. I still learn every day, every match, every game. So it's an apparently simple game that has deep levels of complexity. Paul McGreal used to say that he spent his entire life trying to get order from chaos. And I did wonder if Bill named his book after Paul's quote. Yeah.
Yes,
I had lessons from Paul McGreal for 6 months back in the late 80s. To have time with Paul McGreal was just one of the great pleasures of my life. Yeah.
Yes,
fantastic bloke.
I met him one time. He signed my book. I saw that green one, the 3rd volume, behind you. The subtitle is Order from Chaos.
Yeah.
However, I feel like that was not the original subtitle because I have the first volume here, and on the back it says part three is slotting, splitting, running, and doubling.
Yeah, it's a bit dull, isn't it?
Part two was points and hits, but he changed that subtitle. I just spoke with him about that, and that's called Everything Matters, which I told him, I think if you remember two words from the entire series, those two words can be used in every single position.
I use that with students because every pip matters. Yeah, that's the problem in being really good at backgammon. You'll never ever crack it because somewhere along the way you'll make a one pip error, and one day that'll turn out to be a nightmare. Yeah.
But I think that these types of exercises that we did, adjusting the position and modifying it by moving one checker, one pip here and there, actually helps a lot.
Yeah, I played Paul McGreal in the first round of the World Championship one year at Monte Carlo. We got to double match point. I was winning easily. He hit a shot in the bear off, and then somewhere in the complications, he made a .004 error in moving the checkers, and that was the difference between winning and losing the match. And I won. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Well, I really enjoyed it. I appreciate your time. Obviously, you're very well known and well respected in the backgammon community. It's been a pleasure doing these videos because I'm able to meet a lot of players like yourself from all over the world. I wouldn't have otherwise had that opportunity. And I always tell my guests that I hope to ultimately one day meet you in person. It would be a pleasure.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you for the time. Obviously, this is a great learning video, which will be distributed once you send out the link to all of my students and all of my club members as well. So, you know, the more we promote the game, the better off we'll be. I'll agree with the conversation we had before. We need more women to play the game, and we need to get young people playing. It's a great learning vehicle for young children. Yeah. So there should be far more good young players. The trouble is they're busy playing Fortnite and other ridiculous things.
Yes, yes. I agree with you. I think the more content, the better. And I really wanted to express my appreciation and gratitude to you for also making some of these new videos. Of course, you've written many books, and those are outstanding. And the new content is really fantastic. I just watched a couple of them, and they were pretty long sessions, an hour, hour and a half or so, but they were all very good, like packed with very good information. So I appreciate that. And I spoke recently with Mochi about the youth initiative, and he tells me in Japan there are so many youth playing, and I think there are many lessons you can learn from backgammon that can relate to life, like risk versus reward, learning about patience, all sorts of things.
Yeah, I've got probably 2 more videos that I recorded during COVID, so I will load those up over the next 2 months. Yeah.
I look forward to watching those. Wonderful. Again, it's been a pleasure. Do you have any final comments before we conclude the video?
No, it's been a great evening. Really enjoyed it. Love your shirt.
Thank you. I have a few of these shirts. People ask me about it. There's some sort of website where you can just upload your logo and put it on. And the position that's on my shirt is actually the same position that's in my background, which is the cover of the book. So you see that?
You see it? Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
depending on, I can't see black's checkers on this side of the board, but white's probably in trouble there.
Yeah, black has a prime, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see it, but black has a prime point. Okay. Well, thank you again very much. You're welcome to come back for future videos. I'm happy to collaborate with you.
Happy to do it again. Yeah.
Great, great. All right, so we'll go ahead and conclude. Thank you again to my friend Chris Bray. Thank you to the viewers for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as both of us did. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, so I can work on that. Again, my book, Backgammon Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it, and I will put links in the description to where you can get Chris's books, because he has many outstanding books. If you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is in the description. And if you're interested in lessons from Chris, I will put a link to his website so you can contact him that way. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. And until then, keep rolling your dice.